Can we make barbecue ribs better? Yes, I'm talking about those juicy, tender, sticky ribs that we all love so much. What if I can find a way to make them taste better?
Big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
We're talking about a billionaire's version of regular ribs. Oh, and why is that, PITMASTERX? Well, that's because we gotta spend some money to make ribs better. You see, traditionally, ribs are meant to be cheap. It's a waste product, and that is why it's such a beloved treat. It tastes freaking delicious, and it doesn't break the bank when you make them. But of course, I found a way to make them more expensive. But that's not the goal. The goal is not to make them more expensive. The goal is to make them better. With this method, I'll be spending a lot of money, so it better be good. The first splurge is gonna be these ribs. These are iberico ribs. And when I say iberico ribs, you can compare that by replacing a regular steak with a Wagyu steak. This is the best quality pork ribs you can get. And what does quality mean in this case? It means that the ribs have a lot of fat and a lot of flavor, which should make them very, very juicy and tender. The second element that is going to make these ribs special are these blocks of butter. It's the French way of making everything taste good. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good lump of butter? And the funny thing is that I already use this in my current method of cooking ribs, just to make them taste a little bit better. Because normally I take cheap ribs with a little bit of meat still on top of them, take off the membrane, and then season them with a little bit of PITMASTERX classic barbecue seasoning or pork seasoning. Then I smoke them for about 3 hours until they have a beautiful smoked color. Then put on a little bit of butter, some barbecue sauce, maybe some honey or some sugar, and then wrap them up in aluminum foil and then continue to cook them. And once they're close to falling apart, I take them off, give them a little bit more time on the barbecue, and then it's time to enjoy those juicy, tasty ribs. And that method of cooking ribs works every single time. So my personal real question is, can the ribs actually become better? Not just a little bit better, actually a lot better. So here's what I had in mind. I'm gonna take a tray, put in a block of butter, and put that block of butter on the barbecue. Right in the center. Then I'm going to set the gas to the lowest setting. And now I've got to wait until the butter is melted. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare the ribs. Now we got a few lumps of fat here that needs to be trimmed off, just making these things look good. Now on this side we got a nice thick layer of meat, but on this side it's like this thin floppy bit. That's not gonna work for me, and however much I love this meat, this is no bueno. So all the floppy bits gotta go, and then the excess of ribs that are just gonna fall off. And of course, you're not gonna throw that away, even though we're spending that much money, we're still not throwing it away. You can use it for a soup. In the Netherlands, we love split pea soup, so that's what you use that for. If we want that billionaire experience, of course, we're gonna remove the membrane. I don't really bother with it anymore when I'm doing regular ribs, or if I grill them, I even leave them on. But if you're doing billionaire ribs, you gotta go all the way. I'm gonna season it with a little bit of PITMASTERX Texas seasoning, just to get that first layer of flavor on. That looks good. I'm gonna tap it a little bit. The ribs are somewhat dry. They're really high-end ribs that have been hanged for a while, just to get that nutty flavor in your ribs. That already looks like some tasty ribs. Look at that. There we go. Tap the other side. The board. Beautiful. Let's do the other one. Remove the membrane. Leave as much meat on as I can. There we go. Perfect. These are ready. Now let's check on the butter. And once the butter melted, we're going to put in the ribs. Look, this is a technique that the French have been using for a very, very long time. It's not something that I just came up with now. If you've ever heard of duck confit, for instance, it's basically this, but then with duck. And the French use this technique for so long because it tastes so good. And I feel kind of lucky because both ribs just fit in my tray. They're not completely covered in butter yet. I'm going to put on a twig of rosemary, a couple of twigs of thyme. Don't overdo it, it's just a little bit added flavor to the ribs. A couple of cloves of garlic. And I've got this. This is kefir. It's basically lime, but more powerful flavors. I'm gonna stick that inside. I don't want it to discolor the ribs. Just a little bit of acidity. A couple of more slices of butter to top it off. And this will submerge the ribs and it will completely cover it up. And now this can go back on the barbecue. For stage 1 of billionaire ribs. I still got the ribs. I can still have the grill set to the lowest setting. That's going to give me a temperature of about 120 degrees Celsius, just like the temperature while you're smoking ribs. But now that they're in fluid, it means they will cook a little faster, so I have to keep my eye on them and see how long that's going to take. And watch out that they don't over tenderize. I want them absolutely perfect. It's been about 3.5 hours on the billionaire ribs, and in the meantime, they have been bubbling away. I put some weight on them just to make sure that they're submerged, and I raised up the temperature in the grill just a little bit just to make sure that the butter temperature was almost hitting that 100 degrees Celsius, and in the meantime those ribs are just... Now I poked in it with a thermometer to see how tender they are, and currently they're quite tender. Hopefully not too tender. That looks so good. Let's take a closer look at this, because from my point of view, they look freaking insane. Quite white, actually, of course, from the butter, but also quite soft and tender. Oh, we flipped it around. Look, oh no. They're a little too soft and a little too tender. Oh man, this looks so good. Except for the fact that it's also quite tender. Let me put it on a rack right here. Be careful with it. Because they cost so much, I could put a little sear on them, get a little bit of Maillard effect, but in reality we're not gonna get much flavor out of that because we already cooked the meat. So basically all the flavor that comes on now is the flavor that we just put on top of it. Now, putting on top flavor doesn't make any sense because at the same time we're also losing flavor from everything that sits on top of it right now. Let me just show you how tender that is. Poop. Bones popping out clean. Then you know that this is exactly the way they make confit meat. So it doesn't really surprise me that cooking it this way is really hard to not cook it too tender. That is so beautiful in itself, so fall apart tender. It's almost like pulled pork, but it's not pulled pork because it still has some structure to it. I'm gonna do the taste test right now. I can't hold myself back. Oh, wow. Oh man, I wanna hate this so much. Oh. If you watch my channel on a regular basis, you know I'm the barbecue guy. I want a barbecue. So I'm missing my sear marks here. I'm missing the smoke flavor. I wanna hate this so bad with every fiber in my bone because this is so wrong. It's definitely not barbecue. Nowhere near barbecue. Doesn't have anything to do with barbecue. Okay, how can I integrate barbecue into confit ribs? And the only thing that I can come up with is cold smoking the ribs up front. You might seriously need to consider to do do-over. Let me know down below in the comments. Do we need a do-over with the smoke and a little bit of searing? Or should we just hate on this? It's got nothing to do with barbecue, but it still tastes good.